everyone. Welcome to Title the Podcast with Jo.
And Jo,
Welcome back. So today, what do we have here?
Today, nawiwili sila. No, we asked some of our friends back because clearly we had fun conversing with them last time.
Yes.
So today we have Andrea back. Hi, Andrea.
Hello. Welcome back.
Glad to be here.
And Steph doing a recurring episode now.
I'm excited. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Wow, they're gonna be our resident guests.
Forever guest.
Love it.
I think season 3 is going to be JoJo with Andrea and Steph.
Yes! Oh my God! The more the merrier.
Yes. Happy to come back.
JoJo Stan.
JoJo Stan.
JoJo Stan, yes.
Oh, that could work.
Hey.
So wait
Wait
and
for the
see if
rebrand.
we have a new name.
Okay, what's our topic for today, Jo?
So we're gonna do a 3-part series on what if.
Ooh.
So credit where credit is due. When we were brainstorming this, we found Joel's podcast. Hi to Joel.
Hello.
Where her podcast is Paano Kung.
Mm.
So that kind of sparked the idea of Paano Kung. Well, since we're in Canada, what if?
What if?
naman?
What if?
Oh, I have a lot of what ifs. Charing.
Oh.
Yun na po. Sige po mag-start.
So today, our first
What if?
first what if will be about family. Interesting.
So, as most of you know, Jo and I both moved to Canada from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, Andrea and Steph also moved to Canada from the Philippines. One with a stopover somewhere else, but I'll let her tell you that. So the first question that we want to tackle in terms of what if is, what if our families did not move to Canada?
Ooh.
What if?
Who wants to start?
But before that, let's do a brief history first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canadian history? Philippine history?
1931.
Year 1521.
When Magellan first came to the...
As a first immigrant. The first ever.
Oh man.
Ay, nako.
Yeah, Joe, tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oo, naka na.
Walk us through
Diyan ka
your
na.
okay,
immigration.
so how did I move here?
Yeah.
Oh, ganun tinanong yung sarili.
How?
How
Sarili ko.
Yes. How did you move here, Joe? Well, back in
Yeah.
Okay, so it was how many years ago now? I moved here 2008.
Wow. 16
January
years ago.
12 of 2008.
18 years ago, right? My math correct? 18.
I don't know. Math is not mathing. So it's been a while. Yeah, it's been quite a long time.
And you moved on your own?
Um,
It's complicated.
it's parang feeling ko I was exiled to move here.
Ay, pinalayas!
Pinalayas. So, well, I guess since I have relatives here, so yung tita ko was basically talking to my mom about me moving here. So she was one who kind of sponsored me at that time.
Si Tita Baby ba ita?
Yes, shout out!
Shout out, Tita Baby!
My
Si
tita
Tita
ganda!
Ganda!
So, what happened was it was under the caregiving program at the time. So I took up the course. Because prior to that, I went to Dubai for 3 months. Yeah, with my brother. But he kind of went back there. I didn't. So after I came home, I took the course because they were like planning my life basically. Yeah, so okay, fine, whatever. I didn't want to move because it's like everything I know is in the Philippines, right? And at that time, I was also in a relationship kind of thing. So it's like, so many things. Anyway, the first application didn't really it didn't really happen for me.
Mm.
The first application.
This was when?
This was
07? 06?
I can't remember, but it was prior to that. Maybe 4, 5, 6,
Oh.
somewhere there. Yeah, somewhere there.
So matagal din before 2008 you were able to move.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's been a little. I can't even remember the dates. I'm so bad with dates, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
I won't remember your birthdays.
Don't take it personally.
Unless my Facebook notification is your birthday. So anyway, after that, I was like, okay, fine. I'm fine with it. It's like, fine. I'm just living my life here. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then, at that time, everything was. My application was fine. I had the interview.
Mm.
I even had the medical.
Mm.
Yeah. But then, there was a little problem dun sa accommodation, which resulted in them denying my visa to come here. And that's the only reason. Okay, that's the only reason. I think there was like discrepancy on the requirement with the accommodation, something like that. So I was like, fine, whatever. And then after a few years, si Tita Met moved to another house, which was
Bigger.
she reapplied for me. And during that time, I only did the medical, no more interview. Because I had the record already.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, I'm done, di ba?
Yeah.
So, parang, I guess it's really God's timing. Because the first application, what happened to that, I said, may reason why I wasn't able to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And soon enough, I found out why. So my dad was in the hospital with like some minor surgery, something. And during that time, it's only me, my sister, and him living back home. So I'm like, imagine if I'm not there. Like, it's only my sister and him.
Yeah.
So I said, there's really a reason why. So yung mga reasons nyo, laging merong reason. Yung mga thank you heartache.
Yeah.
Diba? So yeah, so after that, 2007, I got my visa.
Yeah.
Then I said, I'm just going to, spend the Christmas and the New Year. That's why January 12 right away I went here. So that's how I actually came to Canada. And dun ako kay Tita Met for 3.5 years. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And here we are doing our podcast.
Yeah.
So was it not fully your choice then to come?
It was not fully my choice, but I kind of knew that I had to. Because it's also like, what's gonna happen to me if I didn't go, diba? What if I didn't go? But what if I go? Maybe it's better on that side of the world.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what we will
Right?
discuss.
Because the choice is always there for you.
Oo.
But I kind of prepare myself mentally. It's important, guys. Mentally, if you're moving somewhere else, even like to a new city, a new country or whatever, you have to be prepared mentally. That's important. Otherwise, you won't be able to adjust to everything that's new to you.
Yeah. I just want to add to that immigration is not for the weak.
Yes, it's literally
It's
uprooting your whole life
Yes.
and putting it somewhere else.
Exactly.
So it's hard. It's hard, especially like it's only me. I didn't have my immediate family, although I have my relatives, my
yeah.
cousins, my aunts.
Yeah.
It's still different if you're with your own immediate family, right? The dynamics will always be different. But you just gotta have to do it.
I agree.
Wow.
Thanks,
Yeah, I
Joan.
think so.
Yeah.
Steph,
I'm next.
do you want
Oh,
to go next? Do you want to?
yeah, I can go next. Doesn't matter. So slightly different from Joe, and I think the rest of you guys, what you guys will share with when you guys.
Because you had a stopover somewhere else.
It's not a stopover.
From Davao from the Philippines to Canada, there's another country in between.
No, I never grew up in the Philippines.
Oh, that's
I
it. But you were
never-
born in the Philippines, no?
No, Philippines was never my home.
Oh.
Okay, if you want to go back to that, my parents.
Okay, so now we actually do a full history.
My dad had moved away from Philippines to work in Brunei even before my older sister was born. So yeah, like both Joanne and I were conceived, I believe, in Brunei, or like I was at least for sure. Maybe Joanne in the Philippines, but my dad was already set up working in Brunei. So my mom, they already had their life set up in Brunei. Came back just to give birth to us because the whole immigration thing in Brunei, they're not familiar with about being a naturalized citizens. They weren't sure, so they came back to Philippines to give birth. So Joanne, my older sister, and I were born in Davao, but just for the purpose of giving birth, really. So we didn't stay there. Like we never, we just went there to just. It was a very expensive trip to go all the way to Brunei. I'll leave Brunei. Then by the time my younger sister came around, which was like shortly after I was born, my mom was too tired at the point. I'm just giving birth here. Whatever happens, happens. So Val was actually born in Brunei.
So, she's the only one born in Brunei.
Yeah. So for the most part, I think all of us were conceived in Brunei, but the first two of us were born. So we never really considered Philippines a home. Yeah.
It's always Brunei.
It's always been Brunei. Brunei is all we know. It's like yeah. So there's a bit of a misconception because in our birth certificate it says born in Philippines, but really, obviously, one would assume that I was I consider Philippines a home, but like that's the motherland of my parents, but not necessarily ours. Like my sisters and I consider Brunei our childhood home. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's where we grew up, and then that's all we knew prior to moving to Canada. So, but we do know Philippines in the way where we spend our summers. So we fly back during our breaks, whenever that was. I don't know what kind of seasons Brunei had. I don't know if it was summer break, but during school break, we would go back to spend time in Davao. So every year, I would say we do have regular visits to Philippines. So we're exposed to that culture that way. But anyways, so our family, my parents, our family immigrated when I was much younger, different from Jo, because Jo, you were an adult already, right? So I think for the rest of us, we can say we moved with our families when we were much younger, right? So I was 10, and then my sisters were also much younger. So I think I specifically remember my parents told us when we were leaving, and I didn't know what Canada was. All I knew is based on the movies and everything. So I just thought it's like American kind of.
Yeah.
So I knew it was that part of the world. Obviously, when you're younger, you don't know. You just thought new adventure. So I didn't think much of it because it's kind of it's different when you're young. You just go along. But all I knew it was such a big move because our whole community in Brunei, our church community, the people around us, because we are such a close knit family community, the church and everyone around us, our neighbors. It was when we announced that it was such a huge thing. So I knew it was a big thing that way because of
the way they reacted.
It's like, what? So I knew it was going to be a big move because everyone was very oh my gosh, you're leaving us, type of thing. And it was a long farewell thing, our move across the world. I didn't know. I didn't think much of it as a child, but that's our, all I knew that my parents were very, I think I would kind of slightly remember the process. We had to go to a lot of the embassy a couple times.
To the medical exam.
Yeah, all these things that kind of
requirements.
Yeah, so I knew that there was it was a process, but I don't have a very strong memory aside from our goodbye party. But yeah, that's how we immigrated. We immigrated from Brunei directly to Canada. So I mean, we had a vacation before moving. In Philippines, we did spend time there, a couple months, I think, before because it was going to be our last time in Philippines, quote unquote, in Philippines.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know, my dad didn't know, whether or not we were going to have a chance to go back to Philippines.
Yeah.
He didn't know. It was just, like you
So much
said,
uncertainty.
so much uncertainty.
Yes.
But and then we did go back, I think a year after we moved. We went back to visit Philippines. But, we didn't know. So we spent a huge chunk of time in the Philippines before our move, during our school break or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't move directly from Brunei. Our stopover, my flight was actually in Singapore. We had a layover in Singapore. I remember that specifically. We spent one night there.
Yeah.
Then we flew out. We took Singapore Airlines to Vancouver.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was way back when. I don't know what it is.
The 90s, right?
Back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So different. The immigration back then was completely different.
Yeah.
But that's my story.
So the stopover in Brunei was for your parents, not for you. because your starting point was Brunei. I was thinking about your parents, or like they moved from the Philippines to Brunei,
Correct,
then to
yes,
Canada.
yeah. So
But for
they're-
you came into the picture in Brunei.
Correct, yeah. So if anything, I immigrated from Brunei, whereas them, they immigrated
From the
to
Philip-
Brunei, and then from Brunei to Canada. So they had, they moved a couple times, I guess. But yeah, so that's my story. I don't know, Ivan, you next, or Andrea?
Okay, I guess I could go.
Yeah, go.
So I moved. I moved to Canada a little bit younger than Joe, but definitely older than Steph.
Oh!
So we moved to Canada about my math, 15 years ago now. Oh wow, 15.
Oh, were you a teenager?
Wow.
Or did you go to high school here or no?
No, I didn't. So we
Because I don't
moved.
remember, yeah.
We moved out 15 years ago. So the story goes, before we moved, we came from the Philippines. My dad was in between jobs. He was in between jobs, and I guess he was bored. So he applied to come to Canada. I was like, "What is this applying to Canada thing?"
Oh, interesting.
He's like, "Oh no, we don't know." I mean, they were praying about it. Like the whole process, they were prayerful about it. I always joke
That's so
about.
interesting.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he just got bored because he was in between jobs and didn't know what to do and applied." I mean, that was part of the reason why he had time to apply, because he was in between jobs. But they, as a couple, my parents were praying about it. So he applied, and then I was like, at that time, I just finished high school. I was about to start university, and I got into the University of the Philippines. Shout out UP.
Wow.
Ooh.
UP Diliman. So, syempre, I was so proud that I got the UP
Yeah.
Diliman. So I was
Is it
telling my
hard to get in? What's Diliman?
UP Diliman is like the top university in the Philippines.
Oh, what's the Diliman part?
Diliman is the city. It's like saying
Yes.
UBC Vancouver versus UBC Okanagan.
Oh, okay,
region
the
in
different-
Diliman is the place in
yes.
Quezon City.
There's
Yeah.
multiple
Mhm.
campuses.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry,
This would be the main campus.
The main
Ah, okay,
campus,
got it.
and it's the hardest one to get.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I
Okay,
did get in by God's
congrats.
grace. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But I did get into UP Diliman,
Yeah.
and so at that point, my dad was like, "Oh, I applied. When we get it, we're gonna move." I was like, I got into UP. Like, it's very hard to get into UP. It's such a
Yeah.
blessing. I got into there. I want to finish. My dad goes, "Yeah, immigration takes forever. The application takes a while. It takes about 5 years.
Yeah.
Your degree's only 4 years, so by then you'll be done. Like, you'll be done, and then you'll be coming over." I was like, "Okay, sure. As long as I get to finish my degree, because I want my degree from UP Diliman." I was like, "I wanted it from UP." Lo and behold, a year later, we got approved and everything came out.
Oh.
And so I was like, "Wait, you said I had 5 years." They're like, "Well, we didn't think it was gonna get fast tracked and
Yeah.
everything was gonna come out soon." So within a year, it came out. So we did the same thing. We did the medical exams. We did an interview. I remember sitting for like an immigration class or something, like because my dad applied through like an agency. So I think the agency put together like workshops for people immigrating, just to give them like an overview of this is what to expect in Canada. Like languages, there's gonna be English and French, and it is what to expect with different kinds of names. It's like blah 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 blah. I was like, I didn't think much of it. I was like, what are we doing? I still was processing, and then we came to Canada, landed in Vancouver for about 2 weeks, just to be like, let's try out the place, see how we feel, see what we like, blah 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 blah. So in my head, that was still vacation, right? Like we just came here for a vacation, came here, and then went back, and my parents were like, "Okay, we have 1 year. We're moving to Canada next year." So we had 1 year to wrap everything up, close whatever bank accounts you had to close, sell whatever we had to sell, prepare. Obviously we had to prepare for like winter clothes and like what else do you have to bring to a new country, blah 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 blah. So did all of that in a year,
Yeah.
and then flew out and just left everything in the Philippines.
Wow.
And same thing with Steph, where it was, we did not know when we were going to be able to go back to the Philippines. So it was a very heavy goodbye with like everybody.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we moved in 2010s. So Facebook was a thing, Instagram was a thing, Skype was a thing back then.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't it wasn't like fully saying goodbye to like my friends there.
Oh yeah.
It was mostly, honestly, it felt more like goodbye to my family because then your aunts and uncles back then weren't really on Facebook. Or my grandma wasn't on Facebook, so I'm bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were here for about 6 years before we went back to the Philippines.
Wow. Yeah.
Before we got to say hi to everybody again.
Yeah.
So that was 15 years ago.
Wow, interesting. You know what? I just realized. I think my parents got the okay to move early on, but I don't know. I know this is a different type of immigration. I think you get like a certain number of years until you have to use it before it expired.
Yes.
So my parents put it off for the longest time until the very end. I forgot how many years they allow you. Like 5
I think
years?
1 or 2.
No, it was longer.
No, for us it wasn't. So when we got the approval,
Yeah.
we're like, okay, what does this mean? They're like, well, you have to get your medicals done, but I think within the year or something.
Yeah.
So parents pushed it off till the deadline for when to do that.
Yeah.
And then after we did that, whatever it was, they pushed the deadline to as far as they could push it.
Yeah, yeah.
Until we were, and I think after the medical, after everything, we had like I think 1 year or 2
Yeah.
years
Right.
to come into the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that one they also pushed as far as they could.
Yeah, because my parents also contemplated. They went through the process. They got the green light, but really they weren't sure if they would push through. My dad like, should we do this? They weren't kind of
Yeah.
like yes. So I think my dad applied to just in case. But
Mhm.
really wasn't like, oh, are we gonna do this? He had like I think to the expiry date where he had to decide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, let's do it, like type of things. Like,
Yeah.
So it wasn't like like it's so interesting. So like, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
later.
Mhm.
Like, what if they decided not to go? But anyways, yeah.
I mean, that's a good segue for my
Yeah,
story,
yes.
and, which I will touch on later about
Yeah.
the visa expiration.
Yeah.
My family story, and I just want to point out, like everybody's story is so unique, but
Yeah.
somehow we're all in the same.
Yeah.
We're all in the same
We're all
living
Same
room.
boat, same living room.
Yeah. Interesting.
For my family, a background, my mom was working in the government, and then my dad
In the
moved-
Philippines.
In the Philippines, and my dad worked in the government too, but he moved to private sector. This was like late 90s, and my mom being a government employee, I think for her motivation to apply to move to a different country was like she looks around and she's like, I cannot give opportunities for my children the same way other people can.
Mm.
So that was kind of her like thinking that the only way I can give them the opportunities I want to have as a parent is to move to a different country.
Without being corrupt in the government.
We mean around the government, or like when you're in the government, when you're working an employee, that's it.
That's it.
You have some
Yeah.
stability, you know, you can have a good pension, but that's pretty much it, right?
Like it's good for her as an individual.
Yeah.
Not as a mother wanting to build a
Absolutely.
future for her kids.
And at that time, I remembered, I don't know if you remember the context of Philippine politics at that time, it was unstable, right?
Until now.
Until now.
Second change.
For me,
Yeah.
I just felt unstable at that time because there were so many riots. I just remembered like watching on the TV, so many riots. The president was getting impeached at that time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
This is 90s, so which was this?
Estrada.
Estrada getting
Yes.
impeached
Wow, I
for
remember that.
for Arroyo. Okay.
So at that time, there was like a mass exodus of people typically going to Australia.
Mm.
Apparently, it was easier to migrate to Australia, or my mom decided to go to Canada. The reason she wanted to go to Canada, and it was her like, between my mom and my dad, my mom is the one who wanted to move to Canada. She just had a gut feeling.
Mm.
And around at the same time,
Mother's intuition.
yeah, at the same time, my dad had a really good job with a Canadian company based
Oh.
in the Philippines.
Wow.
So, and this is kind of like a different story, but like
Yeah.
he loved his job because his job allowed him to travel.
Mm.
And around this time, so my mom applies for visas. The same thing. Oh, we don't know how long this is going to take,
Yeah.
right? And
They
then
lied to us.
my dad got a posting in Mexico.
Oh.
So
Oh.
he worked in Mexico in the late 90s. This was East Mexico, like just up north of Texas. So he goes back and forth every 4 months between Mexico and the Philippines. And then I'll remember around early 2000s, we got like a courier mail. My dad, and he just happens to be in the Philippines for vacation. My dad ignored it, I think for a good couple of days. Right? He's like, what is this? I don't know what this is. My mom finally opened the mail, and they're like, Oh, this was like, for context, we've already given the passport to the visa people, and we didn't hire an agency. It was all my mom doing the application. So we get the passports, and my mom's like, "Oh crap! These are Canadian visas to get entry to Canada." So she checks it, but the thing is, my dad didn't have a visa for some reason. Like I'm pretty sure it was my dad who didn't have a visa, so we had to go back to the Canadian embassy to like verify if he has a visa. And on top of that, we looked at the visa expiry date. It was 2 weeks from the expiry, like 2 weeks from now.
Oh my gosh, so soon.
What?
So you have to buy it.
Exactly. So I'm hearing you guys saying, "Oh yeah, we had 1 or 2 years." I'm like, we literally had to
I think we had 5 years.
we had to uproot ourselves in 14 days.
Oh my god.
So it was, I don't know if it was like fate, tadhana, or like perfect timing that my dad was there.
Yeah.
So it was scramble. I remember it was scramble. We had to, you can't just buy airplane tickets on the internet. You had to go to a travel agency.
Yeah.
Everything was manual.
Yes.
I remember going I think it was like in like proper Manila to get tickets immediately.
You have to go to the PAL office.
Oh, yeah, you got to go to the PAL office, right? And I just remembered our house was so messy, trying to fill things with whatever we can in boxes. Balikbayan boxes.
Yeah.
So everybody was allotted 2 balikbayan boxes. So we had, I'll never forget it. My parents, they're not a very luggage people at that time. Everybody had 2 balikbayan boxes. So can you imagine packing your life in just 2
And how old
boxes?
were you at this time?
I was 10 years old.
So that means your siblings were
Younger.
Much younger than me. So my youngest sister was only barely 3.
and then just like all these boxes at home.
Yeah,
and
all
she
these
was
boxes
like,
at home.
The boxes are bigger than her.
I remember my cousins came over, and our house is very, like, it's a decent townhouse. They came over and they went up the stairs and just looking over the boxes. I'll never forget that. And I'm like, oh wow, I can't, like, you think about it, like all your life is being packed in those boxes, right? And then my mom and my dad enrolled us for school for June, because at that time school in the Philippines started in June.
Yeah.
This was around May.
Wow.
Mid-May we found out that we had to leave in 14 days.
Wow.
So my mom had to call the school and say, "Hey, just we need that money back because we're moving to a different country and uprooting ourselves." And I'll never forget it, because at that time I knew a little about Canada. I just knew 2 things: snow and polar bears,
Yeah.
and maybe snowmobiles. That was the only thing I knew about Canada. I knew it was gonna be cold at that time.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the fun fact about my family, our first entry, well, you gotta go through Vancouver, but our final destination was, I think it was like Scarborough, Ontario.
Oh.
Something like that. My parents had that, like, work friends out in Ontario, and they just felt like, oh, that's a community, they can support us. But literally, like, a few days before we left for Canada, my dad learned that his older brother in California has a high school friend in Richmond, British Columbia. And behind the scenes, they were like, okay, let's find an apartment for them. And then I'll continue that story later. So that's behind the scenes. So I go and I'm like, of course, when you're a kid, it hasn't sunk into you that you're moving to a different country.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I think I only had like 1 or 2 friends that I was close to. And like back in the 90s, you didn't have a cell phone to like give them a call, or like you go to your Instagram and like give them a DM. It was like a landline phone, you gotta give them a call. I remember telling my friend, like, hey, I'm moving to a different country. I won't be able to see you again. Yeah. And that is like for a good 4 or 5 years, like moving here, that was kind of like such a big heartache, because it felt,
at 10 years old.
Yeah, it felt like an unfinished business that you don't get to see your friends.
Yes.
You don't get to see your friends, and you don't get to grow with them.
Yeah.
So where did we go? So 14 days. We leave end of May. Literally 2 days before the visa expires. So we arrive in Canada, and at this time, the apartment is ready. Actually, it was a townhouse.
Wow.
We got a townhouse. I'll never forget it. 3-bedroom for $800.
Good deal. Back
By
in
the
90s.
time we got to the townhouse, the house was so fresh. The carpet was wet.
Oh wow.
Literally, they just finished cleaning the
Cleaning.
carpet that morning.
Oh my gosh.
And then in the meantime, so this is what's happening. It's like a lot of things happening at that time. My dad still had to go to Mexico because he still had a contract in Mexico. So we only stayed in Canada, I kid you not, less than 2 weeks. So my parents decided the 3 siblings and my dad will head to Mexico for a few months before he finishes his contract. Where my mom has to finish her work, and she came with us to Mexico for 2 weeks, and then after that she headed back to the Philippines. So the siblings and I stayed in Mexico for like just over 3 months. And then my dad finished his contract, and then we moved back to Canada. And then after that, we stayed in Canada for as long as we can. Except my dad, he had his own issues. He ended up going back to the Philippines to do it was just so much changes for him. But for me, I didn't get to return to the Philippines after 5 years when I was 15. Yes. So it was a whirlwind to say the least.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that other people had like at least 1 or 2 years. And then I started hearing, oh yeah, it took us 5 months to get here. I'm like, why did my family literally had to like throw stuff into the buying box?
Wow, yeah.
Just so, because if that visa expires, you're done. You have to repeat it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I realized. I think ours is similar. So that's why my parents decided. That's why we had a vacation in Canada because they were like, let's just go there so the visa doesn't expire. And we stayed here for 2 weeks. We did the whole visit the church, look for where the schools are, look for like where to get the whatever you need to get, where the local groceries are, blah 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 blah. And then went back. So we did not scramble to like try to pack our lives up because we're like, okay, the visa's expiring, let's just go there. So then we get to land in Canada and then come back and then we'll sort our life out after.
Exactly.
So I was like, oh, that would have been so stressful if my parents were like, pack everything.
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our immigration story.
Wow.
And my family's been here just under 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It'll be 25th end of May this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, you moved 2000 what?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
It's been a long time, guys.
It's been a long time. So like really like going back to the question, right? What was the question?
What
What
if
if?
our families did not move to
Okay, what if her
Canada?
family's did not move? Yes.
How life would have turned out.
Yeah. Because I think even, so like obviously with Andrea, Steph, and myself, our families made the decision to move. And then we kind of just like, well, okay, we're tagging along. Whereas for Jo, you sort of made the decision to move, but then arguably you came to Canada because you already had aunts that have moved here ahead of time.
Yeah.
So then what if none of our families moved to Canada?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Not in Canada.
Probably not. Probably not.
Would you have stayed in the Philippines? Or would you have made your own decision to figure out how to move abroad? Or would you be in the Middle East? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
Probably not. I feel like this is gonna sound weird, but I feel like ever since like when I was younger, I feel like I'm always meant to be abroad, to live abroad.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I just have
You felt that you knew
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
I kind of knew it.
You also have family all over the world, right?
Yeah,
Like I think your mom is in the States,
yeah.
and then you went to Dubai.
I went to Dubai. I have cousins in Dubai. Up until now, I have cousins in Dubai.
Yeah.
So if you did not have family in Canada, would you have? Let's go back to the early 2000s for you. Was your mom already in the States?
Yes.
So then would you have moved to the States or would you have gone back to Dubai like your brother?
I think either or.
Interesting. What if like
Dubai is also a nice place too.
oh
I know, I want to go to Dubai.
But like, what if you said you were in a relationship? What if
Oh yeah, the
Right?
relationship.
That-
Do you want to talk about that? No,
is that a different episode?
That's a
I
different
mean,
section,
that's
yeah.
also a possibility too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you said abroad, or you could have ended up in the U.S. or
Yeah.
Dubai. But what if you stayed?
What if you stayed?
Yeah.
I think even if I stayed at that time, if it's bound to
And
end, it will.
Oh, so
So
you
it
felt
won't
like-
really matter.
Yeah, it will make a difference. Yeah.
Oh.
but yeah, so let's for the sake of this episode where we're exploring what ifs.
Yeah.
Let's assume we're back in early 2000s. Let's assume you've decided not to stay in the Philippines. Pick one. Would you have gone to Dubai or would you have gone to the
I think
US?
it's easier for me to go back to Dubai.
And what would you have been doing in Dubai?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
What were you doing in Dubai the
Yeah.
first couple of months
Well-
before moving back?
It's half vacation, half trying to find work here and there. 'Cause
Yeah.
Ah.
I only worked there for like a month.
Mm.
Like I'm just trying to explore at that time.
Right.
'Cause
Mhm.
I'm like fresh off the boat, right? So I'm just trying to,
OFW.
OFW.
I'm just trying to explore what's out there
Yeah.
at that time.
Right.
So, and it's very different now. It's more developed. There's more opportunities for other people. So yeah, I'm probably working in an office somewhere, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you think you would have a similar life like you do here, but just over there?
I
Because
guess
you kind of
so.
hustled here, right? So you think you would have hustled there too and ended up
Oh, yeah.
in a similar.
But I think Dubai would have been very different because you don't become a citizen in Dubai.
You don't.
So she would have been on contract. So she'll be there for
True.
like a year, 2 years, then back to the Philippines for a little bit,
Yeah.
apply for another job, another year, 2-year contract or something.
And in
True.
Dubai, usually most of the companies there, they will give you like annually they give you tickets to go home.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Part of your compensation.
Yeah.
But true, or you could have come across someone who is Canadian, and you could have been like, maybe I should move to Canada. You never
Or your
know.
mom would have
many
asked you to.
scenarios.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
your mom would have asked you to go to the States with her.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Would you have gone to the States?
At that time, not yet. No, not yet at that time. Because my mom didn't become like green card holder until later.
So she wouldn't have been able to
Yeah,
support
she
you while you
wouldn't
were
have,
there.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you never wondered then, what if I hadn't moved, or has that ever crossed your mind? What if,
What
like
if
how
I
different
hadn't-
life would have been for you turned out differently?
Yes, I'll probably be doing something else back home.
Mm.
Maybe that's in a different series now.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in
Yeah.
another series, but
Yeah.
For sure.
in another episode. But I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be in healthcare.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like 100% yes.
Mm.
If I'm back home.
Got it. Yeah.
Not okay. Interesting. Do you think life would have been better? I know it's hard to tell, but what's your inclination? Would it have been better if you?
For me, if you want your life to be better, you have to work for it.
Okay.
So it depends on how you work your butt off.
So you think your life is better now? So then, no matter what, your
It's-
life would have been better. No
I would
matter
say it's
where you're
better
at.
in a sense if you could. I think it's better because I am able to support myself.
Yeah.
Back home, it's more. I don't know. I feel like it's harder to live there.
It's harder to move away from your family in the Philippines.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Different culture. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. Come on, it's so hot in there. I can't stand it.
I mean, and your other option was Dubai.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
The only time Dubai is hot is in summer. But if it's like, because we went there in like January.
Oh yeah, I heard
It's
it's
very
cool.
cold.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
It's very cold.
And I guess it's like AC everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Very interesting. So, are you glad then that you kind of went along with the original plan of you
With your
moving here?
tita's plans.
Are you happy?
It's actually my mom and my tita.
Yeah.
They plan my life.
Yes.
They're the one talking. I'm just following orders.
So you were happy that you weren't rebelling against that.
Thanks, Tita.
Yeah.
I felt like I have no choice.
Oh yeah, you were mentioning the term you were exiled or
Exiled.
did it feel that way? I guess.
But it did feel like a regret. Like you moved here, I was like,
I don't
oh, man,
think
I
so.
wish I didn't.
Because for me, it's like, if you're meant to be somewhere, you will be there no matter what.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
No matter what. Even if you say, I don't want to, one day you'll end up there because you're meant to be there.
It's
Yes.
like Jonah from the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Bible stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's just how I
Yeah.
see it and how I look at it. It's like, what more can I ask for? Like,
Yeah.
if you look at my life right now,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do all of this if I'm not here.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree.
I feel like that alone is an accomplishment on its
Yes,
own.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
That's
So
true.
count your blessings.
That's so true. Because a lot of people, they still are struggling to find a way to get here, right?
Yeah.
To move here.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, Andrea, what about you?
The question
What
is,
if your family did not move to Canada?
Ooh, it's tough. I feel like, and this is probably what we're gonna talk about in the series, like career wise.
Mm.
It would have been a different pathway for me. Like family wise, I think my dad would still be traveling, so I wouldn't get to see him as much because after all, emigration and being migrant workers is such a common story among the Filipino among Filipinos.
Yeah.
Whether you're in the Philippines or you're part of the diaspora, is that how it's-
Diaspora.
diaspora world. So I think my dad would probably be traveling. My mom would still be working in the government just because it's stable. I you know what? I think the biggest difference is my social circles will be so different because I was thinking about it last night. What's the main difference between Canadian culture and Filipino culture?
Mm.
Filipino culture is very like group oriented.
Mm.
We like to be in social circles,
Yeah.
Like
whether it's
community, like,
immediate,
yeah.
your secondary, tertiary. It's so different here. I find that I'm always alone, not by choice, but sometimes by choice.
Yes.
And like even the dynamics at work or like third places, sometimes it feels superficial, right? Whereas you are in the Philippines and even like your work, your colleagues are your friends.
Yeah.
Like it's a different dynamic. And I feel like my interaction with other people would be so different. Would be so different just because of how like Filipinos are.
It's definitely a lot more individualistic here
Yeah.
than it is in the Philippines. So you got to see your younger sister and your younger brother grow up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're exploring the what ifs, right? So do you think your life would have turned out on other than the relationships and the career, but do you think you as a person would have, how do you think you would have been different if you grew up in the Philippines versus you growing up here?
It's kind of related to Ate Jo in terms of like I don't have a choice. Like I feel like a lot of my choices would have been so swayed by influence from other family members. Even when I moved here, yeah, sure. When I moved here, like I picked my own degree. That was kind of like a different upbringing compared to other Filipino families because, like, as we know, a lot of our peers are like, "You're gonna be this because it pays a lot of money."
Yeah.
Whereas my
Going to healthcare!
yeah, exactly.
Mag-nurse ka!
Whereas my parents are like, we want you to go to something that will sustain you. We want you guys to pick a course or pick whatever career you want, as long as you're able to sustain yourself. So it doesn't matter if you go to healthcare, whatever, as long as you can, be independent. That was always kind of like what my parents' upbringing are. But I think had I been in the Philippines, so many other influences from like the titas and the titos, the people among you, and there's a lot of like social comparison too, right? Oh, like
Yes.
what is their
Yung anak
daughter or
ni
son
ganito.
are doing, right?
Yung anak ng kumpare ko.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there would have been a lot more influence, and I feel like I would have been someone who was doing something that I didn't want to do.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
The other thing that we did not talk about this ahead of time, but
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it now.
This happened.
The other thing that most of you might not know Andrea did have a stint of living in the Philippines for a little bit
yes.
after she graduated and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to explore that bit for you.
For sure.
So you grew up here.
I totally
Obviously-
forgot about it.
Ta-da!
Oh
like
my
you did
God.
not have a choice moving here when you were 10.
Yeah.
And then you finished your degree, you did all these things. And then you had a stint of going back to the Philippines.
Yes.
If you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And then the question that I had for you was, when you were back there, did you ever have that feeling of, oh, I wish I stayed here and grew up here, versus, oh, I'm glad I grew up somewhere else and then get to come back with this opportunity?
Great question.
So tell us first
for sure.
what that story was about.
I completely forgot about it. I think it's just selective memory. So after university, I got this super opportunity to travel to the Philippines to represent Canada. It was a local governance partnership between Canada and the Philippines. And I got sent over to Leyte, Philippines. So Leyte is in the central part of the Philippines. At that time, it was presented to me that it was also one of the poorest regions of the Philippines. And the purpose of the partnership between Canada and the Philippines was to support local government units, so LGUs, to come up with economic development through tourism. These are places that, you think of tourism in the Philippines, Palawan, Boracay, Bohol.
All the beaches.
And it's pretty saturated. And at that time, all the other local governments are like, well, we want a piece of that too, right? So why don't we come up with a tourism circuit so that we can bring people to Leyte and have some economic development in that part of the Philippines. And when I first came there, first of all, yes, I'm Filipino. And I had a bit of confidence going there, I got this.
I grew up there till I was 10. I speak the language.
I got it. But the thing is, I'm in my 20s, early 20s by that time. I moved to a place where I don't know how to speak the language.
Is it Bisaya or Cebuano?
So, funny enough, it's one big island. On the eastern part of Leyte, they speak Waray.
Oh.
But when you cross the mountains...
dialects, huh?
Yeah, but when you cross the mountains, they speak Bisaya.
Oh.
Which is super interesting.
So were you in the Waray side or the Bisaya
The
side?
Bisaya side.
Okay.
I was in a town called Palumpon. So you travel from Manila to Tacloban and you take a bus. I remember taking the UV Express for 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Out on the west by myself. I don't know how I did it, but I did. And I think you're right. I think the first 2 weeks I cried. I think it was such a big adjustment because obviously it's my first time being away from home by myself. And this is the funny thing because when you say Filipinos, I always think of it as, living as a Filipino in the, what's that word again? Diaspora. You're living in that. All the Filipinos I know are either family or titas and titos, acquaintances or friends. Now I'm meeting Filipinos who I do not know. They are strangers to me.
Filipinos out in the wild.
Filipinos out in the wild. And my first instinct was to trust them because that's what you do.
Right, because in Canada you don't see a lot of Filipinos.
I don't see a lot of Filipinos.
So the Filipinos you're exposed to, you trust right away.
You trust immediately, right? And then and they're also your co-workers because I worked with them. I was, funny enough, just a side story. Behind the scenes, my manager at that time was trying to figure out accommodation for me. They thought, being Canadian, they thought this was going to be a Caucasian female going
to the
Philippines. So they found me a house. I go to the house. I look at the owner, and the owner was white. I'm confused, and she's confused.
She's confused. She's like, where's the Canadian?
Yeah, it turned out that my host mother, what I call my host mother at the time, she's I believe second generation Spanish. So her father from Spain immigrated to Leyte and I guess started a family there. So she would have been second generation, and her mom was also half Filipino, half Spanish. So I was shocked. I was like, Filipino, but my host is white, so probably felt the same way too. It's like Canadian, but she's Filipino.
Awkward.
Yeah, I know, it's super awkward, but they've been so nice. The thing is, To answer your question, it was tough because like I refer to myself as Filipino, but like growing up in a place that I myself am not familiar with. Most of the time I spoke English because it was so much easier. It was so much easier to communicate, and they prefer speaking English to me so they can practice. But even the work dynamic was weird. Like here, you're. It's not like you're equal to your boss, but it's like a first name basis, right?
It's more flat structure in the West compared to the.
Whereas in the Philippines, there's a lot of hierarchy, mom, sir, right? You call everyone, if it's your boss is female, you call them mom. Ma'am, sorry. If it's a male boss, you call them sir. So and
they're in between.
Yeah, and there's I know,
mom, sir.
So I had to get used to that. Like I'm not used to that hierarchy where I need to be below myself to make sure that to show respect to other people. But even then, like even among peers who are not mom sir, like we're the same role per se, that was hard to adjust to just because you don't know if they're being genuine to you. Some of them are like genuine. They want to include you, but like sometimes I wonder, like, do they not want to include me because what? Like I speak too much English or what? Right. So I think it's just a period of adjustment. A lot of life stories and life lessons that happen from that trip.
You and Late
it's a different. We can do a different series on that, but like I just to answer Joe's question, there was definitely a lot of identity crisis that happened, and that's okay. That's part of exploring. That's part of like discovering yourself. And sometimes you need to put your place. And this is why I told Joe earlier that immigration or any type of uprooting to a different place is not for the weak.
Yeah.
You cannot. If you're weak, you're sheltered, and like you don't have the heart, you don't have the willpower to do it. Don't do it.
Not to discourage.
But just to give reality check, you need to prepare for it.
Yeah.
No, it's very interesting, Andrea, because it sounds like from what I've heard from you, also just in the past when you talked about these experiences, right? Like there's this initial feeling of, oh, I'm quote unquote going back to the Philippines, quote unquote going home.
Yeah.
And then you go there and you're like, actually, this isn't quite
home. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you identify as Filipino, you still identify as this being your birthplace, this is where you quote unquote grew up. But then you go there and the reality hits where you're like, wait, they don't see me as one of them.
Yeah.
I'm not fully one of them. Like there's a recognition of we speak the same language-ish.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in the middle and southern Philippines, right? They don't actually they're not as familiar even with Tagalog or Filipino. There's a lot of geopolitical yada yada that we don't have to get into today. And I think it's actually very common for a lot of people who speak Bisaya to be fluent in Bisaya and English. Not actually Bisaya and Filipino. So it makes sense. So then now you're like, I'm going there, but I'm not speaking Filipino. I'm speaking to everyone in English. I got placed in this white household. I'm like, what is happening? I'm back in Canada.
So it's like you're being a foreigner in your own homeland.
100%. So true. And also I just want to point out too, I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned from that experience is Filipinos are not homogenous. Meaning, because I grew up in Metro Manila. So my way of thinking was everybody who I meet who's Filipino, who's not in the Philippines is from Manila. And I go and I experience a different part of the Philippines as an adult, and I'm like, wow, it's so different. Maybe even the way they think, the way they move around, it's so different from people growing in Manila. So I think even our own Filipino community needs to understand that like not everybody's from Manila. Manila is not Philippines. Philippines is not Manila. It's just there's so many varieties of dialects, cultures, ways of thinking. And we need to celebrate that rather than thinking that Philippines is like this one big.
It's not a monolith.
Yeah, it's not a monolith exactly.
So we have 7,000 plus islands. Come on, people.
Yeah.
7,107, depending on if it's high tide or low tide. Some
Miss
of them
Universe.
some of them disappear.
Exactly.
No, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's very much interesting for you because for your formative years,
Mm-hmm.
you were right in the middle of your formative years when you moved over. So you had a good foundation from like ages 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And then you come over, there's an uprooting, there's all of that.
Yeah.
You go back to Leyte. And then what was the culture shock like? Because I remember, and I use culture shock specifically because you did mention it. What was the culture shock like moving then back to Canada after your stint in Leyte?
I mean, I'm not gonna mention it in the podcast, but there's other things that happened in the internship.
We'll do another episode.
Yeah. But I think when I came back here, the reverse culture shock is just how like, man, I'm back to like being an individual again. Like I'm not part of a community, even though I have all these third places like church, you know, family and friends and stuff.
Podcast
So, a
lounge.
podcast lounge, but it's so different. It's so, I don't know, like it's a different group dynamic when you're in the Philippines rather than like, and then versus when I came back here. And also like, I feel that my experience was so unique. It felt very lonely, right? Like, sure, I can tell you guys, and I appreciate that you guys listen to me, but I don't think anyone could really replicate what I went through.
No.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
So at first, like when I came back, I would say I was like, you know, undiagnostically, is that the word? Depressed.
I'm also pretty sure there's some PTSD, girl.
Yeah, I was definitely some PTSD. So, but you just have to deal with it. Like, you know, that's what you kind of carry, and it's an unpopular opinion, like the Filipino spirit of resilience, if you will. So I needed to choose to be resilient because there's, you know, and when I have the privilege of coming back to Canada, which is a beautiful country, and I have this opportunity to start over or like just move forward, whereas other people do not have that opportunity. And I carry that, like the blessing or the privilege of opportunity. Because if I don't, then maybe I would have not been here, right? So
Interesting.
yeah.
That's true.
What an adventure.
Yeah. Thanks.
You don't even know the half of it.
Thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot about it.
Also, we can't talk about the Philippines and you coming back and forth without talking about that.
Yeah.
But on that note,
Yes.
that's where our episode ends, guys.
Yeah. Super biten.
Super bitten,
Super
but that's
taga.
why you should stay tuned for part 2.
Yes.
I think this is the
Next-
first time we're doing this where we actually cut up the episode
Yeah.
in between. Normally we try to wrap it up, but because of how rich the discussions are, because we're talking about our identities, our family histories, and like our own personal experiences, there's a lot to unpack, and we did not want to try to force to wrap anything up.
Or else we're gonna be sitting here for the next 5 hours.
That's true. So we're like, we'll cut it here.
Yes.
Stay tuned for next week, as then I guess Steph and I then get to share
Oh right.
our what
yes.
ifs.
Yeah. And there's more what ifs.
And there's more what ifs. 10-part series.
Akala ko 3 lang, but maybe more. We'll see.
Maybe more.
We'll see.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Andrea and Steph. We'll see
Thank
you back
you.
here next week.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify.
Especially since we're gonna do part 2, so make sure to subscribe so you get the notifications.
And if you can share with us your
What
story,
ifs.
your
Yeah.
what ifs.
Yes. We'd love to hear it.
Also, if you're an immigrant somewhere else,
Mhm.
Yes.
that would be a nice thing to share with us.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, guys. So we'll see you next week. Again, this is titled The Podcast with Joe.
And Joe,
Thank
bye
you,
guys.
guys.